developing. I work at Kashmir University. I'm one of the professors there. So actually, Nepal, when we talk about education system, when we talk about education of any kind in general, and science education in particular, the picture is not very, very good. If we look into the achievement level at all levels in school education, it's very, very unsatisfactory. So some of the studies, not just in school education, but also in higher education, the pass rate, the undergraduate pass rate in higher education is around 40 to 42%. So which presents a very bleak picture. Likewise, the educational experiences are largely negative, be it school or university education. So that's another major problem. And the other problem is that victim blaming, like blaming the students, blaming the teachers, those who are at the receiving end. The other problem can be featured is business as usual attitude among the masses, lack deep and meaningful engagement in any issues of significance, including education and science education. So what are the possibilities? So in the last 10, 12 years in our research, we have a research group, Transformative Education Research, and now we have renamed it as Transformative STEAM Education Research Group. And there is, we sort of came up with this kind of perspective. We concur with what Jyoti has said. So when we talk about the possibilities, then there are three possibilities. One is we stay within one particular discipline and we teach discipline. And next possibility is sharing across disciplines, and we look into the world and connect world and disciplines. For example, different areas of science need this kind of engagement with the world and discipline both. So this further requires productive engagement, transdisciplinary commitment to change, meaning that connection across different disciplines and also connection between the world and the disciplinary knowledge. So this is what we have conceived transformative STEM education. So in order to make it more clear, we have came up with this kind of perspective. Of course, there are different elements of STEM and together with arts. So one is inquiry that comes from science, which is very important, and this is very important as far as astronomy education is concerned. So the approach to inquiry, our habits of mind is very much, should be very much associated, aligned with the inquiry thinking, inquiry approach. The very important other aspect is computational thinking, because this comes largely from mathematics. Likewise, design and different forms of skills, not just hard skills, but also soft or transversal skills like collaboration, communication, leadership skills. These are very, very important. And on top of that, on top of these different dimensions, creativity and imagination is very important, without which you cannot do astronomy, you cannot do space science. So, and again, one of the very important dimensions of our transformative STEM education is sustainability education, because the planetary consciousness is very important given the condition of given the climate and many other forms of crisis that the planet is facing. So this has to be connected with any forms of education, any forms of science education, be it astronomy as well. Likewise, the important aspect is critical cultural consciousness. What I mean by critical cultural consciousness is that how educational process takes place, how we learn, how we teach, what is best teaching, what is best learning, or what is good teaching, what is good teaching, what is good learning, what is good assessment. This is very, very important to consider. So our vision, therefore, is this. So one is the content dimension, that is subject matters. The second dimension is experience, which is very, very important. And this has to actually, we need to increase this aspect of curriculum. The other one is the learning outcomes, how learning and assessment takes place. And also the very, very important dimension is reconstruction, that education for social change. Why we need science, why we need astronomy, why we need different forms of science is to improve society, is to improve our social condition, our being in this planet, being in this part of this cosmos. So our pedagogy is not just cognitive, but also affective. Affective means the beliefs, values, and so on and so forth. And the final is performative. That's what Manisha ji and Suresh ji are doing. So how these goals are translated in the world. And previous presenters also indicate the community-driven activities. So this is how we're not just focusing on a cognitive, but also more of affective. That is more the feeling dimension, the heart dimension, the dimension of connection, and the final one is the performative, which is action. Likewise, what we have also envisaged in our university, especially in our STEAM education department, that assessment is not just for finding, but it is continuous. Even it should be rather developmental and improvisational. It has to be assess-based, empowerment-driven, not very much fault finding and failing the students, that kind of approach. Likewise, our understanding of research is also slightly different. We take research as for transformative professional development of science, math, and technology teachers, technology educators. So we are not just focused on informing, but also reforming how things are happening, and even our emphasis is on transforming why something is happening, why the way the science is being taught, through teacher-centered method, how can it be improved? So it's more of a structural transformation approach. Until and unless we look into this this side, the transformative possibility of science education, STEM education, it is almost impossible to make our educational endeavors, in these areas. So our conception of learner is change agent and responsible colleague, knowledgeable author, because we work with science, math, technology teachers. So, our focus is largely driven or guided by error learning theory. So, active meaning maker, conscious adult, and enthusiastic seeker. And teacher is also, similar role is there: change agent, lifelong learner, facilitator, mentor, conscious adult, enthusiastic seeker. So I'm coming to the end. That's how our vision is as far as STEAM, any STEAM institution. For example, if NASA is to be an STEAM institution, we envision this is our aspirational kind of approach. Then at some stage probably we start, auditing institutions through these perspectives, which we have just started, putting this model. So curriculum with transformative intent, facilitative teachers, leadership with an open vision of education, and active learners. So, and this has to be informed by collaborative, reflective, critical, and creative approaches. And as far as our department is concerned, we have 2 programs dedicated to research and development, MPhil in STEAM education and PhD in STEAM education. And likewise, we have this professional development related programs, which we call TPAC competence as well. One of the component of the professional development is TPAC, technological, pedagogical, content knowledge. So that we run masters in maths education as of now, and masters in STEAM education 1-year program. So this is how we try to develop ourselves as a STEAM institution, our department. And Nazo and Kusod has recently, Kusod here is Kathmandu University School of Education. They have recently started a joint activity, and then this is our focus. Our partnership will be aligned with the proposed education node, IAU, Office of Astronomy for Education node. And thanks to Suresh ji and Manisha ji that we started working in this area. And our emphasis largely with training and development and developing resource materials in certain learning areas, and which should be made accessible, connected, and relevant. And also our another emphasis, expertise is school curriculum, how school curriculum is made is activity rich, how supplementary materials are produced, and how curriculum are remodeled that foster active learning. So in this way that we have just started this collaboration partnership. So if you have any further inquiries, you might look into our website. So this is what I have to say. Thank you very much. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Professor Dr. Balchandran Vittal. So